It's the big, big conversation.
Welcome back to the big conversation. Now, recently, global media personality Tyra Banks has faced criticism online for moments on her show that many once considered normal television, but which, by today's standards, feel insensitive. Closer to home, Nigerian singer Simi has been dragged for tweets she posted years ago, tweets she may not even stand by today. And beyond celebrities, ordinary people are being called out for past bullying, insensitive comments, or problematic behavior from secondary school days. So we must ask, is this accountability or is it unforgiving culture? And when your past resurfaces, what should matter more? Who you were or who you are now? Let's have the big conversation. Now, ladies, let's start with ourselves, because I know it's often easier to say, oh, someone cannot change when it's somebody else. But I know that we've all evolved. I don't know what Bryce Ochoji was like in secondary school, because I saw recently where on TikTok, this lady was mentioning the seniors that were bullies in secondary school. This is like, what, 20 years ago? These people are married with children. There was another lady who called out rapists. She called their names. They were her neighbors, and some of the boys had gang raped her. On Facebook, everybody started going to their pages, going to their wives' pages. So imagine you're married to somebody who's like amazing person, but because of who they were. So, I mean, let's start the conversation. Are there things that maybe in your past that you feel like, okay, was okay then, but now you're looking at it and you're thinking, but I'm a different person now?
Okay, so I'd like to give an example from Simi's tweets. I read everyone because I'm a big Simi fan. I love her and Dekunle Gold a lot, so it was personal for me. So, and to be honest, even though I would say that there were people catch a lot of cruise online, and I'm almost sure that it was a lot of cruise for attention, but the message was not great. Yeah. Do you understand? Especially now that we're all more aware about.
But would it have been okay? Because she tweeted it, and nobody. Somebody said, "Oh, do you know there are child right acts that could, Nigeria has child right?" Yes, for that. Yes. But there was no public outrage at the time. Yes. And I think same thing with Tyra Banks as well. For example, her documentary, Nigerian America's Next Top Model. Okay. So the models are coming out to say, oh, they took advantage of them. And she would laugh at them, they'll do all sorts, which was, at that time, it was funny, but now, everybody's woke, everybody's aware, So, for example, Simi's tweets or some of these things, maybe that we did back in the day, would Simi's tweets have been okay in your own? No. Yeah, no?
I would have seen it, if I'd seen it then I'd have cringed.
You'd have cringed, yeah.
But I probably wouldn't be as upset as I am, to be honest, because I'd have cringed and wondered, what's she talking about? Because my mom has had a daycare there nice at school, and I know there are a lot of kids around. So it just shows a creative mind. So she probably know how children and babies can be clingy to you. I know why you follow me up and down, but she now painted it to look.
That one of them was
trying to put her. You know how children are. It didn't mean anything, but the way she painted it, honestly, I was very sad with those tweets because they were really explicit. And in my head, I'm thinking, definitely, I don't think that's who she is. I don't even think she has ever been that person. I think it was more of cruise, being online, and then she wasn't the celebrity like she is now. There's some things that come back to bite you, and we really all just need to be careful.
So should people be judged by what, the opinions they held, the kind of things they did, and stuff like that?
Well, the thing is, if you're, excuse me, if you're out there already, many of us don't realize that when we tweet and we post, we're actually out there. Yes. And, it's a global village. Anybody, literally, anybody can see those tweets. Yeah. And so from the moment you become aware enough to put some things out, you need to be careful. And be sure you're saying what you mean and you mean what you say. There's nothing like cruise. You have to justify it at one point or the other. Now, to answer your first question about if we are who we were, if you're proud of what you were before, well, I know for a fact that people do change. One of the greatest challenges I had as a child was my temper. Yes, so talking GS3, SS1, I would literally break stuff. And I'm not talking I'm angry at home, I'm breaking stuff in my room. I'm talking I smash lip gloss against the blackboard because I don't like the way a teacher spoke to me.
Wow. Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
I'm shocked.
So when I ripped someone's notes, SS1 to SS3, tore it to shreds and threw it up and walked out of class. Ooh. Now, you know me now, and you know that there's no link between that person and who I am now. Because right now you can literally dance on my head, and I would walk away because
you walked on yourself.
You're not feeding me. You know, so the difference is stark. Now, am I going to deny who I was? No. As a matter of fact, it's a thing of pride for me. Like, yeah, I was there, but you know, I have grown, and that's how I think people do evolve, depending on if you can realize that there's something wrong with who you were. It actually makes you a little bit more tolerant of people, understanding that you don't know what they've been through, you don't know why they are the way they are, and then you give them, you know, a longer rope. Some people hang themselves though, but you do, you know, you cut them some slack because, hey, we grow. Now that's secondary school. Early university days was a totally different, you should, you should be keen on that. And today, talking about changing sports, I have people who struggle with who I was. Now, I also struggled with who they said I was, because who I was and who they said I was, they were extremes, you know. I met a guy in final year, and he says, "Oh, you are the famous Jumoke." So, and I'm like, "Okay,
what did I do?"
I'm famous, and he goes, "Okay, eat me." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" "Oh, you eat men for breakfast." "Oh, really? Amazing." You know, so he spent about a year waiting to be eaten. But nothing ever happened, and so it took him a while to realize I was just misunderstood. Because I was bold, I was loud, I could talk to anybody, and then of course I had some crazy ways of catching crews. Talking about crews now, I remember a friend walked up to see a roommate, knocked on the door. I opened the door and said, "Oh wow, sorry, one question, will you marry me?"
Wow.
You know, and so they read it to mean, she's flirting, and so. Thank you. So I had a reputation that I was not living up to. Unfortunately, people who knew me from uni days are watching me today and thinking, okay, a guy just walked in, what's going to happen? No, because something used to happen. If a fine boy comes in, I would react, and I would not just, I would talk. Like, wow, God spent extra time. You know, I was very verbal, you know. So now, my friends from uni, when we meet, you know, there are people you haven't seen in 20 years, and you just start gisting. So they say, you didn't see that fine boy. Sorry, what that happened? You know, so they're expecting something to happen. When nothing happens, they're waiting to see if you take a number, and I'm like, hello.
Marissa Choji, wafi girl. I don't know what you were like when you were younger, but I mean, would you say that the person that you were is who you are now?
I can't say this. In fact, as a younger girl, I think I was very quiet until you step on my toes. Yes, I didn't really have friends. I believe that friends should not be more than 2 or 3. So I was stuck there and everything. And then I was not really given inter-house sport. I might not even allowed to go. So I didn't really mingle. So now my classmates, they are even seeing, because on the class page I'm very vocal. When you are, you don't, they will be like, I told you it's coming. Such that one time there was I came on board. They said, okay, let's register this association. So they said, told you do it. And I was doing it. And I said, why did you pick all these people as board of trustees? Simple question. Then I went back to say, you know, you guys are doing power show on this page, admin. Once this entity is registered, the board of trustees will have more power. I didn't know that. I shouldn't have said that. The people that had the power. So that thing led to the house splitting. And then it was like, let's do reconciliation. They said they should not invite Toju to the reconciliation table. I was like, am I that bad? that no, they say, after you speak your mind too much. Sometimes you have to be doing like that. I say, but there's no need for that. Even in feeder, some people feel that my head is, I'm not like that.
Really?
I'm not like that.
You're not the average worry girl.
No, when you are born and bred in Warri, you have the good, bad, and ugly in you. It's whatever side you want. You flash it. Yes. That most Warri people, they are like that. If you want to do guru, do this. If you want to do hair, anyhow. Right. So, but I'm not that. I can't really say. But now, I think now people are judging me. They are like, this to you even knew her themselves. Who is she? You know, they can't like that quiet girl. Some even think that maybe then I was timid. That wasn't until you come to my corner. You can't get.
No. Yes, I know people often say that. Even on social media, there's a very popular thing that if you're still judging me by last year, you know, then you don't know me anymore. But I feel like sometimes people use that as an excuse to not be remorseful about certain things they've done. Accountable. Because you may say you have changed, but the effect of what you have done, for example, the person that was raped, or the person that was bullied in secondary school, they are still living with the effect of what the old you, in quotes, had done to them. Does it invalidate, if they forgive, does it invalidate their feelings, or must it be total cancel? And yes, you raped me in secondary school, so I will go to your mailbox, I'll tell your wife, I'll tell your children. People are doing that, telling their children that your father in secondary school raped me. Yes, he was a terrible person. Your mother was a bully.
That will force some accountability.
Yes.
But you know, a situation like rape, you maybe then you didn't have the avenue to ventilate, so you have bottled
and then now that there's a platform.
So now there's a platform that gives you that freedom to be the organ of your keypad. And then you now see that I have the opportunity now to call him out. So I think that is why some people will do that. Like recently, my husband was telling me a guy called off the wedding because somebody went to show him a video of the wife-to-be smoking and puffing Igbo.
In secondary school, where?
Secondary school.
Oh, come on.
So he called off the wedding. I'm like, maybe she has changed. Why?
It's not exactly. You didn't want to marry before. You didn't exactly.
No, but now,
some people Igbo is a huge thing.
Hey, but back in the day,
you can residual this thing.
Now, see, you can't eat your cake and have it.
Okay.
So you're saying that it's okay to, bring out these things. And at the same time, you're realizing that bringing out these things would destroy some things. It's the placatory version of me that exists now that's speaking, not the hot version. But the truth is, two wrongs don't make it right. So if he's done something wrong and he should suffer for it, I know that we all get very, very worked up when it comes to sexual assault and rape and all of that. Yes, so that is a big issue for all of us. But when you think of what you will destroy, do you really want to have that on your hands? Now, many times we go, what's it destroyed in me? So at the end of the day, it looks more like revenge than actually making him answer for his actions. Making anybody answer for his actions should be speaking up at the time. An apology cannot fix sexual acts.
Cannot fix
really. So there was a time we were talking about having no holds barred, shame the person and all of that. Sometime on Twitter, that was about 2013, 2014, and I wrote a piece. Right, and I wrote it in such a way that I embedded the name of the person I was talking about. Like, so they said we should shame them, and then he slides into my hello. Was it rape?
Wow, that's what he said.
So was it rape? And I said, well, did I consent?
Wow.
So he did.
Wow.
Oh yes, I did. Wow. But I didn't write his name.
Okay,
right.
But he knew.
He knew because I tagged him.
Wow.
You tag everybody when you're tweeting.
But
he knew. When I told the story, does he not know the story? So he goes, I don't understand. Was it? And so, at that time, I had the option of naming because everybody was name them. It was a name them movement, but I didn't. But I wrote it in such a way that he knew immediately I was talking about him. And then he had to go, but I thought we had, we did not understand anything. And unfortunately for you, I was even sick at the time. Even if I wanted to give consent, I didn't have the capacity to consent. And I had the opportunity to name him, and he was married. I knew his kids. Wow. As a matter of fact, today I have his wife's phone number too. So I just feel like, so if you name and shame, you are going to destroy. Now it's not family. We're even family friends. Wow. So you are creating a feud. You are. What exactly is going to be the repercussion? What is the fate of his wife and kids? So you're going to destroy so much. If only we could isolate the offender. Society might not suffer. But you see, sometimes if you are not vindictive and trying to exact revenge, you would look for some way to get at the person and not destroy a generation.
Their life,
because you are actually literally going to shatter so many lives.
I take it from what Jumoke said. This thing in law school or UI, later after we had left, somebody came out and said, this person almost raped. And then this other person is not doing well. So I said, okay, it was so shaky. They called the committee, come and talk, come and do. I said, he sent me it. I said, no, they are trying to intimidate you. This thing happened, and she was ready to come and work with you. After all of this, it was at the time that it's okay, maybe you cannot be head of this. She now started, and then you didn't even penetrate, you didn't do anything. Although what you did was wrong. I think this one, if after this, she was ready to come and, do stuff with you, then 3 years later down the line, the person felt that, no, maybe I should give it to another person. So this one is not revenge. It's just you are being spiteful, not because you want to destroy a whole guy. Everybody was like, "Why are you taking side with the guy?" I said, "No, let's look at the thing between the lines. What are you doing tomorrow? Anything that goes on this internet, this guy's future is destroyed. And it's one of the shining bright lights."
And then there was another angle I wanted to bring out. One who said the leopards actually change their spots. Sometimes, like I want to feed off the story you gave. Sometimes these spots are imagined.
Exactly. Perception.
So, and that was also my story. So, because of the way I've always looked, I've always been outspoken. I've always been attractive in the way I look, in my body and everything. So there have always been a perception and an assumption that even when I did not even know what that pace looked like, they would say, how can you? They know they're already adding people on your head. So it's something I've always actually suffered. And because I'm also like a bit of a tomboy, so I have a lot of male friends. I mean, when girls are reading Mills and Boons, I'm playing basketball, video games from when I was young. So now as an adult, obviously I'm not playing basketball and video games, but I'm happy to hang around with my male friends while eating, drinking. So anybody that is passing by and just sees you alone with one or two people, they already think like, maybe one of them there is her boyfriend. Maybe so it's something I've had.
Sleeping with all of them.
Maybe she's even sleeping with all of them, don't she? Just so it's something that I've had to make peace with. I'm sorry. I think guys are better for me than most women. I'm beginning to meet more women now, but initially that was my mindset that because I don't do drama. I don't like drama. I like it if you don't feel something a certain way, you say it, we address it, we move. And most women are not like that. They're a bit more emotional and vindictive and stuff. So that has never been my cause. So why I'm saying that, so sometimes the spots are perceived. So if you are thinking that a leopard did not change their spot, but if the spot was perceived, the spots were never even there in the first place.
They were never
so you are the one that is just stuck on your perception. We were any here to move on.
Yeah, but what if in case where maybe it's not perception, maybe someone did do something to you, maybe 20 years ago, do you think that it was also jealousy that this person is moving on,
yes,
and I still feel stuck here? Yes. It can even be like between two friends that fell out, and maybe she did do you wrong, but she's moved on. Maybe there wasn't an apology, but you just feel like I have this platform to call you out because you're just like, for example, those guys that gang rape the girl. Perhaps maybe she hasn't been able to get through it, not get married and have children. And here you are, the rapist, married and with children, and then some of them not even have girls. So they were, so do you think it's more?
Exactly. So I don't think, you're making it look like witch hunting. It's not witch hunting. If the person is stuck with the consequence, then the person is stuck with the consequence.
It's painful.
And she cannot move beyond it, but you are moving on.
Maybe she got pregnant and she has to move
it's okay, but
and affected her womb.
Exactly.
And then
So,
you are
but
there.
please take responsibility.
Yes, but does the calling out make...
No, so that's it. That's why I'm saying consider the repercussions. Sometimes you might need to make contact. Hello, I'm still suffering.
Directly.
Exactly. Not a call out. Not like a I'm still suffering. I can't. There are people that can't even afford the kind of care they need. Okay, pay for the care. Now that you can afford it, pay for the care.
Call out too can be a preventive way. You don't want the person to go and try on another child.
But that is if you think there's a
chance that
there's a history. If that thing was a one-off when he was 17 and then nothing has ever happened.
We wouldn't know. Maybe now, as an executive director in a company, he's drawing on younger staff.
This particular line of conversation is getting me into a space that I don't want to get to. But is our society ready for calling out to prevent other people? There was family tieko. So there was someone I called that like, okay, so this guy molested me consistently over a period of time. He's getting close to someone. Please stop it. And this was in a church. Please stop it because I suspect that this girl, she has started getting withdrawn. And so it's likely to be a repetition of the cycle. So it's the same rape story we hear every time that comes. After I reported, I was called. We were told that you were always wearing short skirts to church. And I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? So we were informed. So we were informed that you were close to him. We still are close. Does not mean I'm not protesting that, hey, maybe I can handle it. I don't think she can because she's wilting and we're watching her wilts. And they said that actually the information we have is that you guys broke up.
Will you?
And so he wants to date somebody else. That's why you are complaining. And I go, this is what you have to say to everything I've said. Oh, it broke me. I was sick for more than 4 months. My parents had no clue what was wrong with me. I could not tell them, because I knew I was going to die if I told anybody what happened. So I outgrew it. 20 years down the line, he reaches out and says he's been bedridden for 4 months. And he knows that the only person whose forgiveness he never asked for was me. But what if nothing happened? is the society ready to support people who are calling out people? I'm not even saying calling out. I'm telling you in private, rescue that lady. She's about to die.
That. Do you know why I'm saying that? Because
but do they believe you?
Like now, this Epstein files has woken up so much. Guess what? The people that are running, that are the gang leaders of that Epstein files.
Christy Teigen and John Legend.
20, 30, 40 years ago, they were the guys in Harvard law. They were the guys in MIT.
No, even the Attorney General of
Exactly.
America.
Yeah.
So you can imagine naming. In fact, there was a video I watched of a young lady that said she went to Harvard, brilliant girl, but no, a lot of Harvard is only for the rich. If you are smart and get scholarship, so there are a lot of middle class. And so she was middle class, but she was there. But said that she had to transfer a year after because she now saw that being a rich is a different. It's not just about being. There's a behavioral. Well, guys do a lot of things. They spike the girls' drinks. They do gang rapes, and nobody does anything about it. So
like this weekend, the girl called me from Ilorin. She gave me a story that in October last year, she was trying to grow her page. She's a content creator. That there's this content creator guy in Lagos that if they collaborate, our page will grow. Then she was on 700. On getting to Lagos, she didn't really know Lagos like that. She now found out that it's like Airbnb, you know. At the end of the day, the guy refunded her and everything. She was so pained. She sent some text message when she got to the car park. When she was going, the guy was being nonchalant. Then the next thing, he now came to post. He now twisted the story around, you know. Then she was scared that if I should come out, people would be like, why did you go? But now, yes, that's it. But now she now came out. She called him out. And then police invited him. He was not going. I said, okay, you know what? This is Nigerian story. Maybe he knows them there. He didn't go. You have done enough. Please, shit your salt for now. Sure. If really that he was innocent, he would have come after you. For you to be bold enough to call her name, I think that's like, that's soothing enough. Just let it go. So sometimes she said, I've been carrying that thing in my mind. What he did, I said, okay, now, let's wait for him. Whether we like it or not, you have put it out there. Posterity will judge him because that thing is there forever. But something up, he didn't penetrate her, but she was, you know,
scarred. Absolutely. I mean, because we need to look at this because if you are saying, oh, what someone did in second, like Simi, I think is also because this was part of this mob that were trying to prove that those who are feminists are not clean as well. Look at the Eric Gwagwa guy too, that he found that his tweets from years ago was saying, oh, a girl should be lucky. They said he bought the account.
But see the way he was murdered. He was shredded online.
Who? Yes.
But Simi has more people defending her.
Maybe because
people are two-faced generally. Like
that's what some Bucci
I think what is helping Simi too from afar
because of
it's
her
not pretty
persona.
Privilege. Yes, that's her voice. She's enchanting.
She has a
People,
clean girl. You know, and then she has
no scandal, no anything.
No scandal. I think so too. Because Eric too, I feel like they were trying to prove a point that
because it's shaky because everybody thinks
there was a guy
too, line
just like the story there was a girl that just came out and said there was this popular photographer. I don't know. I didn't follow the story enough to know which popular photographer. She had come to Lagos too. He had said, "Oh, come and do," and he had maybe sexually molested her, and she had come. But then he was about to get married. So his wife was the one begging her in the comment section that please pull down your tweets. The fiance was begging.
Still wanted to marry him.
She's still off.
Now see, with Simi, you know, the people defending her can talk about the person they know today, the person they've known for the past 5-10 years. So the fiance begging her, what if he was open with her about it?
And
what if she knows?
What if he had
exactly? What if
she's not allowed to? People are not allowed to move on.
Exactly. What if she's checked and they've gone for therapy, he's gone for counseling, and she's sure he's fine? Sure. You know, we never really know the backstory.
Yeah. So she may just want to really be married and be Mrs. and she doesn't care what is passing.
Exactly. But in which case, she has her facts. She knows what she's getting herself into. At least somebody wonder. Exactly. You know, so there's always so much more behind the scenes.
Right. So if you got maybe someone called you out from maybe secondary school, how do you respond? How does someone who maybe they got called out from maybe their past, they have evolved? What do you think? Because people are saying that Simi is not remorseful. They say that this one too is not. How should you respond when people have facts that maybe you were a bully in secondary school?
So I would apologize if I find myself in that situation. Like I talked about it a few times there where I felt I was bullied in school too. Not terribly, but just that once or twice it got to me because it was emotional where I got a particular footwear. I think I mentioned it as one of the big girls wore it and she didn't wear that shoe again and all that. But it sort of shaped my mind about material things and it's actually how I've actually raised my children too, because that instant shaped my life. But the truth is, I've talked about it, but I haven't called her out because to be honest, it's not that serious. To be honest, I mean, we've grown, life has happened. But I think if the tables were turned and somebody did call me out, I would appreciate. I think I would appreciate that if people are calling people out publicly, you should have done the personal one first. If you did not get the response you wanted, or you were dismissed and whatever, then you can now go. But not like you just say a story and you now start calling people. It's not tidy.
How about you, Jimmy?
Yeah. Oh well. You know, it's never really the same for you, and then when it's somebody else,
you give yourself more grace.
Exactly. But for me, if I'm called out, like I have identified, you know, my own journey. I own my past, and you know, someone once asked me if I would change anything, and I said if I change anything in the past, I won't be who I am right now. You know, so if I own my past, then I'm ready to own up to whatever it is I did, offer an apology, try to make it up. It never ever really does measure up, but at least you can put in an effort to show your sincerity and exhibit that you did not know more at the time. However, no matter how well we window dress it, if it is sexual assault, the tempers will flare.
I was going to ask the lawyers, if somebody raped somebody 25 years ago, and maybe she never said anything, and she says something now, can he still go to jail if she can prove it?
How do you prove it 25 years ago?
Maybe like he recorded it. Maybe he recorded
all of that.
Maybe he recorded it, and there are people.
He recorded it, and she has the recording.
Or something.
You know that's exactly.
So when he sent it around, then the thing now got to her
or something. What if there's proof? Would it that the judge will say 25 years ago?
No, there's no explanation. There's no
proof. There's no statute of limitation.
You can still. But the odd thing about rape is also that the rapist or the victim always has to prove, has the burden of proof to prove that they were raped.
That's us. It's the government, you know, that prosecutes. They are the one to prove. But you see, it's the victim that provides the proof they would use. They can't, it's personal, you know. Sex is not something you do on TV or in public. So
some people,
don't let's go there.
2026.
Don't let's go there. I'm just saying that, so we're talking about 25 years ago. Yeah, and there were really no mobile phones. Well, 2003, 2004 was when we started recording. So it's not up to 25 years. So what are you using to prove? We're not doing DNA testing. We're not collecting DNA. You know, exactly. So it's really tough. It now becomes your word against the person. And it's in the realm of conjecture. And you could be sued for defamation. So you really don't even want to go that way. Because if you're sued, you now have to prove that it did happen. And you do not have proof. So sometimes it's better to just leave the past buried and
get your own closure. And I just want to say, because we've been talking about sexual assault a lot, even though that's not the topic, but I guess it just crept in, that if you are raped, the first thing you need to do is go to the hospital. Keep the clothes that you were wearing, please. If you're a lady, keep the clothes you were wearing. Go to the hospital and get checked. I think they can swab.
Don't have a bath.
Yes, don't even have a bath.
Don't take a bath. Don't take a bath, because that's the first thing most victims want to do. Take a bath because you feel disgusted.
You want to scrub it off.
Please don't take a bath. If you want justice, one of the ways you can do it is don't take a bath. Take your clothes, you know, put them somewhere and go to a hospital, get all the anti-HIV, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they can swab you. And I think they have a kit now.
There is a kit.
There is a kit. So please, I just wanted to put that there. But it's been such a real conversation, and it's such a privilege to have such honest conversations here at this table. I mean, I know we encourage people to live in the moment, but I guess it's also important to note that whatever you do today really can be used against you in the future. But is anything enough to keep us in the prison of our past? Well, stay tuned, because we explore this conversation a little deeper in the next segment, where we play Agree or Disagree. Welcome back. It's time for Agree or Disagree, and here's our statement for the day. Some actions should permanently define a person. Some actions should permanently define a person. Okay.
No, because
put your flashlight. Where's your agree? Just show, not flash. Some actions take. Take.
So how do we define
some actions should? Let's. Do you agree or disagree? Barrister told you some actions you disagree. Should permanently. Barrister told you.
Agree.
You disagree.
Disagree.
You're not agreeing? Amazing.
Really?
Because you started off.
Exactly.
Because I was digesting, because some. So it depends on
some.
I know some is also relative. What you think is I can die. Some people like it's not
some
some other ones too think so. It's some to different people.
Some means different things to different people.
Yes.
Some to you agree.
No.
Okay.
I disagree.
Okay. All right.
I disagree because I have come to realize that people act based on the level of knowledge and awareness.
Wait, I agree though. Let me agree.
People act today, right now, based on the level of knowledge, awareness, exposure, and stuff they have.
Yeah.
Fortunately or unfortunately, this will consistently change over the period of your life. Who you are today might not have anything whatsoever to do with who you'll be in 5 years' time. And so if we now we isolate an event from 10 years ago when you were clueless about yourself or when you were literally not in control of your senses, and we use that to define you, we have put you in a box that you will die in, literally. So we shouldn't define anybody by one action. Now, a behavior, consistent pattern of behavior is a different thing. One action, some actions should not define you, but a consistent pattern of behavior proven over time, of course, you have already defined yourself. We don't even need to call any theorists or scientists to prove anything, but one action, two things, mistakes should not define a person, really.
I agree.
Okay, Barrister Toju.
Yeah, I'll be aligning myself with what Jumoke said. If you now decide to take a particular thing that I've done, an action that I've carried out in the past, and you put it in the freezer, saying that I won't change, that's your cup of tea. At the same time, your action, some of your actions can also define you. Let's say you are a woman, you have been caught cheating, infidelity, and you have decided to just change in the marriage, but your husband keeps going back to that, he's, calling you names and everything. He's the one that is refusing to evolve. You have grown past that level that you were, or whatever you did as at that time. So some actions can be used to define you, but not all the time.
Okay.
So that's also so when you agree, it's usually like the best of both worlds. So yes, so I know that that's why I said some. So there's some things that you know that you can do once, twice, and it can be depraved, because I don't see how you raping a 2-year-old I can wrap my head. I can actually honestly move from that, not knowing where your state of mind was. There's some things that are just morally, it's not it's not, there's just some things that I don't understand. Is it that the devil is living in you? So there's some things that, so for me, if I find somebody, and the truth is, we cannot remove the fact that we don't know where the person is coming from, whether it's also gone through abuse.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you. But still, if you do that, it will mean that you are not stable for me, and it means that you can do so many other things.
Exactly.
So for that kind of action, I probably will not be able to remove the fact that, for example, I can never leave you in my house.
Around my,
even if it's 35 years after, I'm not going to be comfortable, because I'm like, if you can find a toddler who is still in diapers, attractive to that, then no.
You're going to say something.
What if the person has changed? We know of some
pastors
today.
I want you to find out. That's what that's why I agree with mine. I agree that some action should define a person.
Yes, because that's I use that one as an example. I know there's so many ones. If you were your temper, if you made a mistake once,
there are things I feel you can
after therapy you can change now. You can
child molestation.
Yes.
I will not. That's why I say I will define you. The world may not define you, but I will define you.
I will never. I'm not going to gamble and say that because you have done therapy and then I'm traveling. I'm like, oh, I'm not stay with uncle.
So like for example, I have a friend who when she was an all-girls school. She was an all-girls school, and so she was a lesbian for a bit. Now she's married. She's and then somebody was trying to use that against her. I'm like, she has moved past that. Exactly. Thank you.
But what about if
that's up to her?
She has not chosen this.
Thank you. Thank you. That's now up to her. But now to use it against her, say, oh, she was a lesbian. They used to sleep in all girls school. Those kind of things happening, but all boys school as well. She's not trying to judge me by all of those things. You're on your own. Like Barrister Toju said, I mean that's your cup of coffee in this case, or boba. Yeah, exactly. So for me, but there's some things I just cannot.
That's why I give that as
the world may give you closure, but I would not.
Or murder.
Hey, thank you.
Premeditated, not mistake.
Yes, I will
not. You understand? One that you have been.
What of armed robbery? Armed robbery.
I will not leave my house yet. Armed robbery.
Sometimes it's context. I've seen people that were in armed robbery, and then by the time you investigated it, their mother needed operation money for something. So yes, it's hard, but I can still forgive and move past that one.
That's it. So you want to
somebody that wants to rape? Yes, of course.
Even armed robbery.
Life is about on a case-by-case basis.
Boys were, more, they were timid. Some of them, they even sleep with chickens and goats in the compound. Yeah, maybe that person. maybe that person will not toast a babe.
We've got the lot of bestiality.
So it's not
okay, it's case by case, but before. It's case by case. I'm not going to generalize. Life, we can't generalize. It's case by case. If I'm a big believer, I watch a lot of crime and investigation. If you watch all those serial killers, some you can see the history. I know that
so as a Christian,
we're going to Christian.
As a Christian,
yes,
the word of God says that if you come to me and you confess your sin,
but the word of God says wisdom. You ask your wife. Exactly.
And that's God. I'm not God.
So yes,
I don't think.
So yes, I can forgive you, but I'm supposed to be wise.
You should forgive. Sometimes.
So forgiving does not mean I leave room or leave room.
Exactly.
Yes, or a friend that is trying to sleep with your, or a friend that's trying to sleep with your husband. You now say, oh, we're friends. Come and come to my house.
Yeah, sleep over. So you forgive and move on, but you now understand your boundaries with that person. Just to be careful, at least for a while. If over time the person.
But what you have done is like keeping that the action inside. You have freeze the action.
No.
Anytime you see,
you some
see
actions,
that.
yes, ma'am.
Babe, some actions.
Toddler,
yes,
not
a
14-year-old.
I know.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
Forever, yes.
Okay.
I judge you.
I'm a chilled version of me, so.
But anyway, this has been such an interesting conversation. Let's look at our wise words very quickly before we go. Who's going to read it for us? Our wise words.
So we are products of our past, but we don't have to be prisoners of it. Rick Warren.
We are products of our past, but we don't have to be prisoners of it.
Now, guess what? This quote says we don't have to be. This say we won't be. So that's life.
We do exactly. People will
Yeah,
judge you. And that's why these younger people, and I tell my,
have to be,
and I tell my, that's why I tell my,
I've said it before that you can have your own perception.
Exactly. So it's not you that you free yourself from it.
And the thing is, that's why I keep telling you younger people, at least if you are older, you have made your mistakes that you can. If you are younger, just don't make mistakes that people, because people will judge you.
Especially now that there's of digital
people will judge you. Yes, we didn't have a lot of things that people have done that there's no Facebook to go proof.
Exactly.
Law, but you know, if you're younger, be mindful of the things you do, because they will judge you. All right, we listen and we don't judge. It doesn't apply to the masses. All right, well, I think this is a good place to leave the conversation, especially at the point where people were sleeping with chickens. I think that was the people.
That was
the point where we're supposed to about.
See it on the internet now.
Yes, oh yeah,
some of us avoid some things. It's not any content that's created for me.
Well, maybe the real question isn't just whether a leopard can change its spots. Maybe it's whether we, as a society, truly believe in growth. We've all said things we would rephrase today.
Yes.
We've all held opinions that, time, experience, or education have reshaped. Yeah. The difference now is that our past is archived and searchable and shareable. So when old tweets resurface, when past actions are dragged into the present, what matters more? The mistake or the evolution, the harm or the healing, the record or the redemption. Now, accountability is important. Growth is important too. And perhaps the challenge of our generation is learning how to hold both at the same time. Thank you for being a part of the big conversation. Keep reflecting, keep evolving. And if you'd like to continue to see more of our content, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. We love you for watching. Don't forget the Big Conversation Conference is coming up on the 14th of March. It's going to be amazing. Follow us on social media at _big_conversation for more details. Catch you next time on The Big Conversation.
Voices rising, stories told, truth unfolding, brave and bold. In this space we speak our mind, different views all intertwined. It's the big conversation where the real ones talk. From the heart of the nation we all take that walk. Through the fire, through the facts we don't hold back. It's the big conversation. Voices rising, stories told, truth unfolding, brave and bold. In this space we speak our mind, different views all intertwined. It's the big conversation where the real ones talk. From the heart of the nation, we all take that walk.